Hi, I'm Laura Patsalia of Hip Cooking, and today we're pressure cooking beans. We'll discuss the difference between pressure cooking beans straight from dry versus soaked. I will show you a technique on how to quick soak beans in just 12 minutes. Plus, we'll make an easy black bean and lentil chili recipe. Welcome to Pressure Cooking School! Now that you have a pressure cooker, you can kiss those cans of tasteless, pasty beans goodbye. You can make your own from any variety of bean that you like and season them from the inside out. Now, some legumes like lentils, split peas, and black-eyed peas can go straight in the pressure cooker and make a delicious recipe, while some other varieties could benefit from a good soak. Let me show you why. Here's a bowl of red kidney beans that I took right out of the package and put in the pressure cooker. Do you see how unevenly cooked they are? Here's one that's overcooked and falling apart. And here's another one that's undercooked and it's shriveled up. That's a crunchy bean. And then some others are perfectly cooked, but overall it's kind of a mixed bag. And speaking of bags, from the same bag of beans, here's some red beans which I soaked first and then pressure cooked. Do you see how evenly cooked every single bean is? They're beautiful, plump, and perfectly cooked. Pressure cooking beans from dry retains a majority of their indigestible sugars. They're the ones that can cause intestinal discomfort. It also retains some anti-nutrients which actually prevent your body from absorbing all of the nutrients that the beans can provide. And as we've seen, they also cook unevenly and they look a bit of a mess. Soaking beans before you pressure cook them reduces these indigestible sugars by over 75%. It also removes the majority of these anti-nutrients, allowing the digestive process to absorb more iron, for example. And more importantly, they cook really evenly and they're really nice to look at and also to eat because they're evenly cooked, so no more crunchy beans. Let me show you two ways to soak beans. The first one is the traditional overnight soak, and the second one only takes 12 minutes. That's the quick soak.
Okay, this is the way I usually soak my beans, if I have time and I remember. First, I measure the amount of dried beans called for in the recipe. Let's say 1 cup. I check for any debris and then rinse well in my sink. Then I put the beans in a rather large bowl and fill almost completely with water. I soak the beans for 12, 24, even 48 hours, changing the water twice a day or about every 12 hours. There's no need to be precise about this. If you put the beans in to soak in the evening, simply change the water in the morning. When I change the water, I strain the beans in a colander in the sink, rinse out the bowl, and give the beans a good rinse as well. Then, the beans go back into the bowl with fresh water to continue soaking them. When I'm ready to use soaked beans in my recipe, I strain and rinse them one more time before using. Now, this is my preferred method for soaking beans, but it's not the only one. Quick soaking beans gives you nearly all the benefits of soaked beans, but at a fraction of the time. Just the time it takes for the pressure cooker to reach pressure and a couple minutes more. I measure and rinse the beans as I do before a long soak and put them in the pressure cooker. Then I add a teaspoon of salt and 4 cups or 1 liter of water per cup of dry beans. The salt is there to keep the bean skins from splitting. Close the lid, set the valve to pressure cook, and program the cooker to pressure cook for 2 minutes at high pressure. When cooking time is up, open the pressure cooker with slow, normal pressure release. This particular cooker actually does it by itself. But a majority of the cookers don't do it, so here's how to do it manually. Tip the valve or lightly twist it to release the pressure slowly, not full throttle. I'll explain in detail why this release is necessary in the next lesson. But for now, take it slow or you'll spray foam and bean puree out of the valve and turn them into mush. Once all the pressure is out and the lid is unlocked, turn the valve to the open position and open the lid. Strain the beans in the sink and give them a rinse before using. They're going to look a little bit weird and wrinkly, and that's okay. Now you can use these beans in any recipe that calls for soaked beans. Let's preheat the cooker by pushing the brown or sauté setting. I'm going to get the veggies ready while I'm waiting. But really, other than measuring the other ingredients, all you really need to do for this chili is just chop a couple of carrots and an onion. I use every bit of the onion, even the stub. I just turn it to the side and chop. Okay, let's add the oil. And the onion. Then add the spices, the dried mushrooms, the carrots, and chopped tomatoes. You can get a full list of the ingredients by clicking on the link below. Now, let's add the rinsed lentils and soaked black beans. Add the water. And mix well before closing the pressure cooker. Set the valve to seal and, after turning off the brown sauté setting, punch in the 10 minutes pressure cooking time at high pressure. When cooking time is up, open the pressure cooker with the natural pressure release. Don't do anything and let the cooker release pressure by itself. This opening method will take anywhere from 10 to 30 minutes. It really depends on how full the pressure cooker is. Meanwhile, if your pressure cooker automatically goes into keep warm mode, it's okay. Keep warm is not a pressure program. It won't actually kick in until the cooker has lost pressure. So even though the keep warm light turns on, The heating element won't actually start heating until after the pressure cooker has cooled enough to lose pressure. When you hear the click of the lid lock disengaging, it is safe to open the pressure cooker. Add the salt and Worcestershire sauce and mix well. Garnish this chili with cheddar cheese and quick-pickled jalapeno peppers, which, by the way, you can make these in the pressure cooker too. A satisfying black bean and lentil chili.